All right, here comes a video requested by one of my Platinum members. That's the bonus of being at a higher level on Patreon, is that you get a chance to request your very own video from me where I give you direct advice, and everybody else gets to benefit as well. So try it out. The question is about anxiety and stress, particularly in school with students, and this can probably go to any student, but mainly goes to college level and high school. When you try to balance your life as a student and you have extracurricular activities and a social life, and you also have to be able to try to maintain grades and achieve decently in school, very hard to do. So I get asked that question a lot of, I've got a lot of pressure on me, Tom. There's responsibilities I have, there's groups I'm in, clubs I'm in, sports I'm in, activities. I have friends, places I like to go with friends, parties I like to go to, or gatherings I like to go to. How do I still do really well in school, have a social life, and be able to do all these extracurricular activities? And by the way, how do I not get completely stressed out? And the anxiety starts to hit, I start to get nervous, I start to regress or fall backwards in school, I start to get more angry or upset or depressed even. Well, I'll tell you what happens to people, especially as they get older in high school and college, is they have a harder time balancing everything. So balancing is such a key. Let me just paint the picture of what it's like, because you have classes, you have responsibilities, and a lot of times we don't see anxiety come in until it's too late. All of a sudden your sleep starts going downhill, and here's what I see typically. Sleep schedules start to go off. You start to go to bed later, you start to wake up later and either missing class or getting there at the last second. You start to get fewer hours of sleep, and it's not as regular. One of the things I always ask students, especially in high school and college, is what are your windows of time of sleep? What 2-hour window do you go to sleep in, and what 2-hour window do you wake up in? And a lot of times they'll tell me, well, one night I'll go to bed at 3 a.m., the next night maybe midnight, on weekends sometimes 4 or 5 in the morning. It can be all over the place. That can increase the likelihood of anxiety. I also ask about eating. What is your eating schedule? It doesn't mean you can never eat fast food, and it doesn't mean you can never eat late at night with friends on the weekend. Are you getting steady food intake? Are you able to eat throughout the day, a little bit here or there, or getting your 3 meals in a day? And are you able to drink enough water to get you through the day and to help your body stay nourished? Because if it's not hydrated, if it's not rested, there's a way more likelihood of anxiety and depression. I ask about eating, I ask about sleeping, and I ask about exercise, movement. And I don't mean you have to go to the gym all the time, but it definitely doesn't hurt to move. College students will tell me, well, I walked to class. That's great. Those steps are great. Any kind of consistent, just 30-minute, I'm going to go up and down some stairs for 15 minutes. I'm going to walk around campus just without going straight to a class for 30 minutes and just keep myself moving. And whenever you're stressed, it's good to do that too. Eating, sleeping, and exercise are my big 3. And when those aren't happening, likelihood of anxiety and depression increases. Here's my advice to you in terms of managing and balancing the anxiety with the life you have of a student, of extracurricular, and of social life. First thing, planning ahead. It's always about knowing what's coming. So in college, I ask about the syllabus, and I ask about tests, and I ask about projects, and I ask about papers, and I ask about assignments and group projects that are due, and when are they due? So you can get a planner out and put this in. In high school, very similar. I ask about what is coming this semester. What do you have ahead? Are you in sports? Are you in theater? Are you in outside groups outside of school that you need to plan for? Planning ahead and knowing, well, I have a big meeting here, I have a big event here, I have a big test here, a big project due here, and you put that down on paper so you can see it, helps you know way ahead of time what's coming. And if you know a big paper's due in a month, and you can track back over the next 4 weeks what I'm going to do this week, the second week, the third week, and the fourth week, so the paper's due, you're in way better shape. So you can actually control your own destiny, and the anxiety can go down. If we just know we have all these things coming, but gosh, that that big game or that big event or that big assignment is not due for 2 months, you kind of just put it on the back burner, and the stress slowly but surely starts to rise. So planning ahead is key. Knowing what's coming in the next several months so you can put it down on paper in a planner so that you always see what's coming. And that way, if you want to take some free time or go out with friends or take a break from studying, you can probably do it because you've planned ahead and gotten work done ahead of time. The second thing is managing your expectations. This gets people a lot, whether it has to do with sports, whether it has to do with social and friendships, whether it has to do with grades. So many students I see in high school and college, they keep either expectations really high, like they expect to just get everything done just as well all the time, and then they get so devastated and defeated when they can't. That is setting yourself up. When you have a semester with a lot of tough grades, or you have school on top of your busy sports season, school on top of working because you need to work, you've got to lower expectation and realize, well, sometimes a class is really hard, or a teacher is really tough, or I've got 5 things going and the best I'm going to do is a B. I need to be okay with that. I've seen students make a C in a class and work harder than other times when they made A's because the class was that much tougher, and it's okay if you put the work and the effort into it. Lower your expectations sometimes. The flip side of that are the students that lower their expectations all the time, and they just expect that kind of a C is an A for them. Their bad grade is an F or a D. That's what gets really tough. They have to actually raise expectations and learn to put a bigger emphasis on achieving. For the most part, students really do struggle with the expectation piece. They expect themselves to still manage everything, and you really can't. That's why it's good, by the way, to have somebody like me or a therapist or a person that's a mentor, coach, guide to be able to see things you can't, that maybe you've got too much on your plate right now. You can keep doing them, you just have to lower your expectations. Planning ahead and lowering expectations. The last piece is know what your priorities are. This is ultra important. If I had you list the top 5 things in your world today that were going on, and you might say a relationship, a sporting activity, friend group, school and grades, church and your relationship with God, making money, your English class, whatever is most important to you, put it on a list and ask yourself if you're spending the most time on that. First of all, you got to ask, are the priorities set well? If you say, well, my girlfriend's the most important thing, and you let grades and school go to the bottom, probably not the best balance of priorities. But if you can really look at, am I prioritizing things right? If I really want to do well in school, am I dedicating enough time to doing it? If I'm in the middle of a season where I've got intramurals or an actual sport activity for high school or college that I'm in, and there are a lot of games or a lot of events, and my time is really taken up, maybe that's the priority right now because I'm in season. So I need to let some other things go. And that might also mean that you let go of some social time with friends or some free time yourself. You have to be able to know what is most important in my life right now. If I can't do it all, what are the top 3 to 5 things I really, really want to make sure I do? Then you focus on those, and the other things that you would like to do. I'd like to have free time. I'd like to just hang out. I'd like to sleep in, or I'd like to go out with my friends, but they're not on the top of the list. Then I need to learn to let them go. That's temporary, just to get through whatever you're getting through now. The way to be able to decrease the anxiety and depression is to always plan ahead so you know everything that's coming and you're prepared for it. Lessens the anxiety. It's to be able to manage your expectations so that you don't put too high of expectations on trying to get every single thing done super well. And it's trying to prioritize. What are the most important things? Because a lot of students in high school and college, I see them spending time in areas that aren't priority areas. I could just take social media, right? When the anxiety and stress gets high, so many students will go straight to social media and just veg out there because they don't realize this is my coping skill. It's my way of just escaping the world because the stress and pressure is too high. I know I've got this paper to do. I know I've got this test to study for, but I just kind of vegetate and, watch a show or look into social media for a couple hours and boom, time's gone. Then I'm more stressed because I didn't get that done. So if you prioritize and you say, hey, I'm going to take this 1 hour later today between 4 and 5, that's going to be my social media escape, whatever I want to do time. Between 1 and 3, I'm going to work on chapters 4 to 10 in this class that I have. This is the time I'm going to eat. This is when I'm going to shut it down for the night. This is when I'm going to see my friends. And maybe I don't get to see my friends all during the week and I have to wait till Saturday. When normally I would see them every day. But you have to ask, what are the priorities? How do I lower my expectations? And how do I plan ahead and get a planner so that everything's written out? The anxiety will decrease, I promise you. If you know what's coming, if you know how to lower expectations and still try hard, but lower your expectations, don't put so much pressure there, and know your priorities of what you should be spending the majority of your time with, you will do super well. If anybody has a phone that measures your time on the phone and tells you what apps you use the most, how much screen time you've used this week, it's a similar thing to that in your life. How much time are you spending on the most important things? And sometimes it's an eye-opener. Try it out, let me know how it goes, and I hope you have a great day and a really great semester. Don't forget to go to my Patreon page and subscribe for a whole lot more content. Everything you want to find and a chance for you to ask me about what topic you want. Go there now and find a whole lot more.